What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin. Hit that like button, you know you want to. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. We're sitting at about 57.6K. I do think we have lower to go, you guys. I know that yesterday had a nice little recovery at the end there, but I do think Bitcoin has lower to go. I think that it is going to go below 54K right here. I actually do believe it's going to go below 54K. If we look at this low to high and we put it on a 4-hour time frame, you can see that you've been respecting this fib pretty well, finding support on the 382, rejecting the 236. You wrestled with the 382, so of course you found support on the 0.5, but then you rejected the 382. The next thing to do would be to go to your 61869 zone, and I would expect that you get a daily close below this yellow line. Now, there is something I've been seeing across the markets. It's been something I brought up for at least the last week or two, but I've seen things that they will go to well, I want to get rid of that yellow line, whatever. They'll go right to their 786. They'll skip their 618, their 69, where they normally should find support, where this is like the normality. And this happens sometimes, and right now it just seems to be in season for crypto, that things bypass their 618, their golden ratio. They go right to their 786, and they get a nice pop. You get this like really nice, kind of like you did yesterday, off the 786 though, right? And probably even more respected than that. Like it'll probably be like just one candle, if not two candles down there, if that were to happen. Again, right now the call would be for the 61869, but I'm just more making you guys, and that's between about 63.5K to 64.6K, but I'm making you aware of this kind of thing, this behavior I've been noticing lately in the fibs across the crypto markets, is that things have been tearing right through their relative 618s and going to the 786, sometimes even the 886. So I think that's important to note too. 50.6K, 52K, those targets are on the table as well. Really, if I had to guess, if I had to really guess where I think Bitcoin's going to go, where it's going to find its low, it'd be somewhere between about 54K and 52K is what I'm thinking. Probably closer, I don't know, it could be closer to 54K. You don't have to hit the 786 just because I'm saying that. Again, generally speaking, you would find support here and you can start recovering, start building up, you know. But I would say 54K to 52K is what I'm expecting. Probably closer to 54K if I really had to guess, but I don't know. I could see going down to about 52.1K there. I don't think we'll break 50K. I very much doubt that we'll break 50K. If we do, I don't think it's a cause for concern, but maybe a cause for reanalyzing the data, looking at it differently. Let's see what's going on, right? It would be a cause for concern, I suppose, if we let's see, if we broke some real market structure, which would be low to high. Yeah, if we got below like 40K, that would be really concerning, I suppose. Then we would see probably like a lower low. That would be pretty bad. But I wouldn't want to see that, you know. Even that, like even a trip down there from here sounds concerning, but there's no like real cause for concern for the bull market until then is kind of my point. So we could see this low being taken out, and that's fine. But again, my overall perspective is that we won't see that low being taken out. That low will hold. We will likely go to 52 to 54K, somewhere in that zone, as low as 50.6K. And I would expect that this move is going to be pretty damn swift. That's kind of my expectation, is that it'll be a quick move, kind of like yesterday, but maybe just a little bit bigger, right? If we're going to go down to this area, maybe perhaps it takes place over the next two or 3 days. Maybe it takes 1 or 2 weeks, who knows? But soon enough, we're going to see the price down here, get a daily close below this low here is kind of my expectation. At least some kind of movement of price below that daily close, and then up. That's that. And it's not going to be just like that, right? We're probably going to work our way up and then break out, whatever. But that's just kind of the general idea for the next, like, if I really had to guess, probably the next 10 days, but let's just say 2 weeks. And it could happen today. It really could happen, or it could start happening today. But I do expect things to move down. The 4-hour does not look good right now. If we're looking at the MACD, 4-hour MACD is postured negatively. I would say even actually have hidden bearish divergence pulled up on that, with this oscillator moving up like this and your price action moving down. On your daily perspective, you're rejecting the 0 here, moving down. Oh, I didn't even look at the RSI. RSI looking bad as well, actually very bearish, rejecting the 50 area as well. No hidden bearish divergence there, but bearish convergence nonetheless. You did have some bullish divergence down here, which probably led to that move, but that's been taken care of. So now it might be time to go down. Also, something I noticed, right? If you were looking at this from a low point to a high point here, we found support on the 382, resistance on the 236. We're rejecting the 382 now. next target would likely be just down. I know I went over that, but I wanted to go over it again. That generally speaking, I wouldn't expect that this is the low. With this kind of look, with this kind of behavior right now, we've got less than an hour left in this 4-hour candle. It's down pretty hard. It's the biggest body that we've seen in the last 3 candles. That's not saying too much. It can turn around in the next 52 minutes. It's definitely possible, but with how it's looking right now, and finding support right here at that 382, I definitely would expect that we're going lower. At least to 54.6K, but personally I'm thinking we're going below 54K. And before I keep repeating myself, I think that's really all I want to say. I do want to look at some other stuff. Actually this weekly looks kind of nice on the MACD. You don't have bullish divergence building, but you do have bullish momentum, or at least bearish momentum dying off, right? You've at least got that going for you. And how it's bad that you were rejecting the 0 line on your daily like that, right? You could be set up in a position where if we move down this week or next week or both, where the blue line comes down and finds support on that 0. And the blue line's the one that matters. It's not the red line, right? The shorter term, the faster moving line oscillator is the one that matters more. And you can see here you found support in your 0 with the blue line, moved on up. It'd be nice to see. So I think you could be put in a position for that. You would even have bullish divergence. Actually, you would have bullish divergence on your MACD. I guess technically you do have one drive right now, right there. But it's not officially printed on there until you have a weekly close. So maybe perhaps we do get a close below there. What would that be? What's that level? 55. So yeah, I would expect a daily close at the lowest, probably below 54K. A weekly close, probably below 56K, 55.8K. And then from there, we'll start working our way up, man. There's really nothing else to talk about. I'm going to put on the moving average exponential ribbon here. Tightly wound. It looks bullish, man. This looks so good. It looks like it's ready to pop, man. It looks really, really tight. Last time that we had this kind of formation, it's not the best example to go off of necessarily because it was the end of the bull market, but it still was a nice rally. We went from a low of like 29.5K all the way up to a high of about 69.2K, right? So in the course of a very short amount of time, July 19th to November 8th, the weeks of those right there. So very short amount of time for both. Just saying, right? You were consolidated. Your ribbon was consolidating. It was pinching. Your price was consolidating. Same thing here. It shot it up, even though we did inevitably go down. Here, kind of pinching and looking somewhat bullish, but then you close below it, so that negated everything here. Nothing really else to probably go off of. Bitcoin might not have all the examples, but still, this is a good look, I must say. Looking on the daily, daily sucks. Daily looks like it wants to go lower. Absolutely, it does. So it probably does. 4-hour is the last kind of relevant one, and it's not always relevant. I would say it looks like it wants to go down too. So, yeah, lower. All this time, all this last like 9 or 10 minutes that I've been talking, it's really just that Bitcoin's going lower. Again, 54 to 52K is what I'm thinking, with the allowance, I guess, for like 54.6K to 50,000.6K, 50.6K. Anyways, guys, I'll see you on the next one. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. And take care of yourselves. Don't get shaken out by this, right? Just get prepared. I really do think that it's a great time to get into the markets across the board. So if you're wondering like when's a good time, it's probably a good time. But also, if you wait maybe till this week's over, it might be better. Not for everything. Some things might be taken off over the cup. I think we're very close. So some things might be taken off early and front running the market, but. I think across the board, if you just wait maybe till this week's over, you might have slightly better prices across the board to buy, right? Like I'm talking like 10 to 30% discounts from the current price. That even on Bitcoin. So that really could happen. And if not 10, maybe not 10% for Bitcoin, it could happen, but like 5 to 10% for Bitcoin, 10 to 30% for altcoins. I don't know. On average, not all of them, right? Don't expect it to be all of them. Your coin that you're waiting to buy could be the one that just skyrockets. So if you've been waiting to buy, man, we're at relatively good prices across the board. Just be prepared for things to go lower. That way, if it happens and you buy here, you don't crap your pants and make a bad move like a lot of people are going to do whenever this time comes. Because it's oftentimes whenever we have those moments where people en masse capitulate and they sell their positions, their long-term positions, for what would initially be a higher low is what I would expect. That's oftentimes when it's the best time to move up, because the market's meant to take money from people, man. The market really is. Man, I was going to say I'm done. This is just a little philosophy here. The market's not meant to make everybody money, right? It's meant to make the people who know what they're doing or who are patient enough to do it. It's made to make them money, right? And obviously people who make the right choices put their money in the right things. If you make dumb decisions or you make emotional decisions, you're likely going to get wrecked. Most of the money right now in the markets, at least maybe not most of the money, I should say most of the public opinion in the market right now is generated toward the bearish effect, I would say, or like somewhat worried, uncertain, scared. There's definitely a lot of, I feel like, capitulation going on. I've noticed it in my comments. I've noticed it in Discord. I've noticed it on X.com. There's a lot of people probably sitting on the sidelines right now, or maybe they're still invested in crypto. They got in at a bad time and they got hit so hard that they've got cash. They wanted to invest more, but now they're sitting on the sidelines with that. I think there is a lot of money sitting on the sidelines, people waiting to see if this really is the low and it's going to go higher. And I very much do believe it is. And generally what happens whenever you're in a situation like that is the price gets away from people. We make a quick move up and all of a sudden it's up above its all-time highs and everyone's like, wait a second, hold on. We just went through 6 months of downside. Surely it's going to come back, right? It's going to give us another chance, and then I'll get in. And then it goes up more, and those people are frantic. Now they're like, oh my God, it's above 100K. Like, should I buy here? Half of them will probably buy there, right? And that could be fuel to send it up higher, right? Maybe it sells, and that could be fuel for people to sell paper hands into the strong hands. But I don't really know what it's going to look like. All I'm trying to say is moments like this, the emotional level of the markets like this are generally, it's a signal that we're around that time where things are about to start exploding to the upside, right? I really do think that more pain is what I was trying to say. More pain would be caused across the markets for the average investor if things went up right now than if they went down. Or at least we're very close to that. So once that happens, I think it's gonna take off. But I'm gonna end this video, man, because we're down $500 from where it started, maybe even more than that. So let's get it out before we make the move without anybody knowing that I made this on time. So take care, hit that like button. Bye bye. I'm real this time. I'm for real this time. I can't talk still, but I am for real. All right, bye bye.